Can I tell you something? I never thought I'd be restarting 75 soft. Part of me felt embarrassed, like I had somehow failed. But then I realized starting over again isn't failure. Giving up on myself would be. So today I'm sharing why I'm starting again and why this time my focus is a little different. Welcome back to the Creator Coffee Table. If you have ever quit something and felt like you couldn't come back from it, this conversation is for you. I've learned that sustainability is growth. It doesn't come from chasing perfection, it comes from choosing consistency, even after setbacks. Today, I want to share why I'm restarting 75 Soft and the mindset shifts that are helping me approach it differently. The first thing is starting over is part of growth. I decided to start over again, but this time with a different perspective. One thing I had to be honest about is that every Tuesday I stay up late working on my business. Sometimes I don't get back to bed until 1 or 2 in the morning. The next day, my body is so tired and exhausted, and this is something I have to take into consideration: my physical health, my mental health. I'm also dealing with sciatica from an old injury, so I'm having to add physical therapy into my routine. In the past, I would have pushed through it because I thought completing the challenge exactly as it was written was more important than listening to what my body needs. But I've also learned that growth isn't just about discipline, it's also about wisdom and keeping our past into considerations. Sometimes discipline looks different, than getting in your workout every day. And sometimes discipline looks like going to physical therapy, stretching, resting, and allowing your body to recover and allowing it to get what it needs. Now, Wednesdays, those are my recovery days. I prioritize rest. I'll take a nap if needed, I'll do stretching, and if I have energy, I'll get a walk in. But my biggest goal that day is recovery so I can show up stronger the rest of the week. Restarting wasn't giving up, it was adjusting my routine to fit real life and where my body is right now. I realized that just as much as our bodies need movement, they also need rest. Without enough rest, it doesn't just affect your workouts, it affects your health, it affects your relationship, it affects your mindset, and it impacts a bunch of different areas in your life. So sometimes the strongest thing you can do isn't to push harder or to push through it. Sometimes it's giving yourself permission to recover, get the help that you need, and to keep going back and keep showing up. Starting over isn't failure, it's part of growth. And every restart is built on experience. You're not beginning from zero or from scratch, you've learned from something. Building habits, number two, is going to be building habits that fit your lifestyle. The second thing I'm learning is that we have to build habits that actually fit our lifestyle. We have to decide to make healthier choices that are realistic and sustainable. For me, what that looks like is walking daily, drinking enough water, reading, prioritizing sleep, planning meals, and now making time for physical therapy and recovering when my body needs it. It's not exact, but it's what's going to work for me. Because if something isn't realistic, we're setting ourselves up for failure before we even start. I don't want a routine that looks perfect on paper but falls apart in real life. I want habits I can actually maintain, because the goal isn't to do something perfectly for 75 days. The goal is to create a lifestyle I can continue long after the challenge is over. The third thing is focusing on identity. Focusing on identity, what that's going to do is, instead of constantly asking, how much weight can you lose? It's asking, what kind of person am I becoming in the process? Because identity creates long lasting habits. I'm not just trying to become someone who completes 75 soft. What I'm doing is I'm becoming someone who takes care of herself. I'm becoming someone who keeps promises to herself. I'm becoming someone who prioritizes her health. Someone who knows when to push and when to rest. Someone who keeps going even when things don't go exactly according to plan. That's the person I want to become. The fourth thing that I'm learning is giving yourself grace is going to create consistency and discipline. You know, giving yourself grace is going to create that. It's going to give you a chance. It's going to make you realize you don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep coming back. Missing a day doesn't mean you have to quit. Needing to adjust your routine doesn't mean you failed. Having a setback doesn't erase all the progress you've made and the days you've completed. Sometimes you just have to pause, reassess, make the adjustment you need, and start again. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay. Now, one of my biggest reflections, and something I want you to sit with, is 3 questions you need to ask yourself. The first one, what goal have you been afraid to restart? Whatever that is, whatever that looks like. Number 2, what's one habit that generally makes me feel better that I can complete? It could be anything from drinking enough water to journaling to reading, getting outside, taking a walk, or simply getting more rest. What's something that makes you feel better? Okay. And then that third one is, what does consistency look like for me this week? What does it look like for you? It's not perfect, just consistent. What can you realistically commit to? And then, of course, our 7-day challenge, just to make it a little better. Choose one healthy habit that you can commit to every day for the next 7 days. Just one, whatever that is. Don't overwhelm yourself trying to change everything at once. Start small, but be consistent and give yourself grace along the way. And if you're starting over too, I want you to know something. You're not starting from zero or scratch. You're starting from a place of experience and knowledge. You know now what you didn't know before and what you didn't know the first time. So give yourself permission to begin again. And if you're restarting something in your life, leave a purple heart in the comments. I'd love to cheer you on. And if this conversation resonated with you, make sure you subscribe, because here at the Creators Coffee Table, we're talking about faith, growth, wellness, family, purpose, and creating a life we actually love without burnout. I'll see you in the next one.